That's Rod Serling introducing an episode of The Twilight Zone more than half a century ago. Starting tomorrow, the show is back in an all-new series on CBS All Access.
It's Rod Serling introducing an episode of The Twilight Zone more than half a century ago. Starting tomorrow, 0088 seconds, the show is back in an all-new series on CBS All Access. What if I told you that one episode of The Twilight Zone was banned for over 5 decades, silenced, 2020 seconds hidden, and completely erased from TV history? Now, after 55 long years, it's finally being shown again. But why was 02929 seconds it banned in the first place? What made it so dangerous? And why does it matter right now more than ever? Today, we're stepping into a dimension of censorship, 04040 seconds fear, and redemption. A true story that's stranger than fiction. Welcome to the Twilight Zone. Chapter 2, Entering the Zone. 04949 seconds. Section 1, Entering the Zone. A show ahead of its time. In 1964, one episode 05656 seconds of The Twilight Zone was aired once and then vanished. It was locked away for over 55 years, left out of syndication, 1051 minute, 5 seconds hidden from public view, and quietly erased from the show's legacy. Why? What was in that episode that made it 2114 1 minute, 14 seconds dangerous to ever show again? And why is it being brought back now in 2025? To understand that, we need to go back to 123 1 minute, 23 seconds where it all began. The Twilight Zone premiered on CBS on October 2, 1959. And unlike anything else on television, 131 1 minute, 31 seconds, it didn't follow a recurring cast or linear story. It was an anthology. Each week, a new tale, a new set of 138 1 minute, 38 seconds characters, and a new descent into the strange, the speculative, and the morally challenging. What connected them? 146 1 minute, 46 seconds, all was a quiet, unnerving voice. Rod Serling, who wrote or co-wrote 92 of the 153 1 minute, 53 seconds show's 156 episodes and narrated every chilling twist starting from episode 2. 2 o'clock 2 minutes. His delivery was calm and clear, but behind the calm, there was always warning. The show came at a time when 207 2 minutes, 7 seconds America was riding the highs of post-war prosperity while privately fearing nuclear annihilation, communist infiltration, and civil unrest. Serling, 218 2 minutes, 18 seconds. A World War II veteran who had seen real horror, wasn't interested in escapism. 224 2 minutes, 24 seconds. His writing pulled viewers into stories that probed fear, guilt, injustice, and the unknown. He knew people were scared. 232 2 minutes, 32 seconds, not just of aliens or monsters, but of themselves. And he used that fear not to manipulate, but to ask, what kind of 242 minutes, 40 seconds world are we building? Who gets to survive in it? Who gets erased? The Cold War loomed large in many episodes. 247 2 minutes, 47 seconds. So did McCarthyism, the Red Scare, the arms race, and the haunting question of whether humanity deserved to endure. In one famous episode, Time Enough at Last, 258 2 minutes, 58 seconds. A book-loving man survives a nuclear apocalypse only to lose his glasses and be left unable to read. In The Shelter, 3063 3 minutes, 6 seconds. Suburban friends turn against each other in minutes when faced with a nuclear threat. These weren't just cautionary tales. They were reflections of what 315 3 minutes, 15 seconds Serling saw around him, packaged in sci-fi so they could slip past the people who would otherwise shut them. 322 3 minutes, 22 seconds down. That was the genius of The Twilight Zone. Serling used speculative fiction, stories involving time travel, 333 minutes, 30 seconds, aliens, robots, parallel universes as a kind of shield. He said things that couldn't be said in a straightforward 337 3 minutes, 37 seconds drama. Network censors were more lenient if the story was set on Mars, even if it was really about racism in Alabama. 3:46 3 minutes, 46 seconds. Sponsors were less likely to object to a mutant child controlling a town if the real point was about authoritarianism. 3:52 3 minutes, 52 seconds, in control. He disguised real social critiques in futuristic packaging. And for a while, it worked, but not always. 4:04 minutes, 1 second. Sorling's earlier career had been defined by frustration. In 1956, a live TV drama he wrote called Noon on 4:10 4 minutes, 10 seconds. Doomsday, meant to depict the death of EMTT Till, was censored so heavily it lost all meaning. Network executives 4:18 4 minutes, 18 seconds changed the victim from a black boy in Mississippi to an anonymous foreigner. For 22 4 minutes, 22 seconds. Fearing backlash from Southern affiliates and sponsors, Sorling was furious. The Twilight Zone became his 4:34 minutes, 30 seconds way of taking back control. Still, even in the relative freedom of the Twilight Zone, Sorling had limits. CBS was 4:37 4 minutes, 37 seconds. Nervous about his increasingly political tone. Ratings were never explosive, and sponsors sometimes dropped out mid-season. And then came the episode 4:46 4 minutes, 46 seconds that crossed the invisible line. It was called The Encounter, aired only once in May 1964. The episode starred Neville. 4:55 4 minutes, 55 seconds. Brand as a bitter World War II veteran and a young pre-Star Trek George T. as a Japanese-American man. The entire 5:03 minutes, 3 seconds story takes place in one room and the episode ends in violence. It's uncomfortable, intense, and in 5:10 5 minutes, 10 seconds. Hindsight, brilliantly written. But at the time, CBS was flooded with complaints. Viewers called it offensive. 5:18 5 minutes, 18 seconds, and dangerous. While Asian American groups condemned the suggestion that Take's father was a traitor, the country 5:25 5 minutes, 25 seconds wasn't ready to face its own wartime actions. CBS pulled the episode from syndication. For decades, The Encounter 5:33 5 minutes, 33 seconds vanished from cable, DVDs, and public memory. But why now? Why, after 55 years, is this episode being allowed 5:42 5 minutes, 42 seconds back into circulation? That's the story we're going to explore next. Because the answer isn't just about one TV episode. 5:55 minutes, 50 seconds. It's about history, memory, censorship. 5:53 5 minutes, 53 seconds, and the long fight to bring uncomfortable truths back into the light. Section 2, The Encounter. The Chapter 3, The Encounter. 6 o'clock 6 minutes episode they tried to bury. For over half a century, this episode was missing. Not lost, not forgotten. 6:09 6 minutes, 9 seconds buried. Executives pulled it from reruns, home releases skipped over it. 6:14 6 minutes, 14 seconds, and even dedicated fans were left in the dark. But now, in one of the most unexpected moves in recent media, 6:21 6 minutes, 21 seconds history, The Encounter is back. Not a remake, not a sanitized version. The original uncut long band episode, 6:29 6 minutes, 29 seconds, finally reared in full in 2016 and now returning to wide release in 2025. How could an episode of a show like the 6:38 6 minutes, 38 seconds Twilight Zone, which was built on moral discomfort and difficult truths, be too controversial even for its standards? 6:46 6 minutes, 46 seconds, and what exactly did this quiet 25-minute bottle episode get so right and so wrong that it was removed from 6:54 6 minutes, 54 seconds circulation for 55 years? Let's start with the basics. The Encounter aired on May 1, 1964 during the show's fifth 7:047 minutes, 4 seconds, and final season. It was one of only 4 bottle episodes ever produced by the Twilight Zone, a term used in 7:11 7 minutes, 11 seconds television to describe a story that takes place entirely in one confined location with a very limited cast. 7:18 7 minutes, 18 seconds, typically to save on budget. But despite its minimalist setup, The Encounter delivers one of the most intense, 7:25 7 minutes, 25 seconds psychologically layered and socially explosive stories in the entire series. It opens in an attic. Neville Brand, 7:33 minutes, 33 seconds playing a World War II veteran named Fenton, is sorting through old junk. He comes across a samurai sword clearly 7:41 minutes, 41 seconds looted from a Japanese soldier. Moments later, a young Japanese-American man named Arthur, played by George Ta in 17:49 minutes, 49 seconds of his earliest TV roles, enters the attic looking for work. Fenton offers him a beer, and the two begin a conversation that at first seems casual, 7:59 minutes, 59 seconds even friendly. But this isn't just a chat between strangers. What unfolds is a slow-motion detonation of trauma, 8:07 minutes, 7 seconds guilt, and suppressed rage. Fenton starts reminiscing about the war, about killing Japanese soldiers, and about how 8:15 minutes, 15 seconds he earned that sword. Arthur tries to keep the peace, but something's off. He stares at the sword a little too long. 8:23 minutes, 23 seconds he repeats phrases with strange intensity, and then he drops the first bombshell. His real name is Taro, and 8:31 minutes, 31 seconds his father, he says, was a spy for Imperial Japan who helped plan the attack on Pearl Harbor. From here, the 8:39 minutes, 39 seconds atmosphere tightens like a noose. Fenton becomes paranoid. He's not just haunted by what he did in the war. He begins to suspect Arthur is there for revenge. 8:58 minutes, 50 seconds Arthur, meanwhile, grows more volatile. 8:53 minutes, 53 seconds he suggests the sword has a spirit, that it wants blood. There's no monster, no 8:59 minutes, 59 seconds ghost, no alien, just two men trapped in a room, neither willing to leave. Both carrying decades of psychological 9:09 minutes, 8 seconds warfare inside them. So why did this episode provoke such an extreme reaction? On the surface, it might seem obvious. CBS and its sponsors were worried about alienating viewers, 9:16 minutes, 16 seconds especially Asian American audiences, by depicting Arthur's father as a traitor.